Hello everybody, what's going on? This is Andrew, and today I'm trying out a Rogues deck in Explorer. Now, Rogues are a archetype that was really popular in Standard for the last couple years, thanks to cards like Soaring Thought Thief and Thieves Guild Enforcer. The Standard deck had a bit of a mill backup plan. This deck does not. It just plays these as efficient bodies, and then it unlocks cards like Drowning the Loch, to be efficient Doomblade / counterspell hybrids, basically. This deck has a really cheap mana curve, and it just tries to be really efficient with its plays, and then put on a lot of pressure with your efficient creatures. The one main difference between this deck and the deck in Pioneer is that the Pioneer deck gets access to Deathrite Shaman. Deathrite Shaman's a really powerful card in this deck. It gives the deck some mana, some damage, some flexibility, and we don't have that here, obviously. So instead, I'm putting in 2 copies of Valentine, Dean of the Vein, which is a efficient creature. It exiles your opponent's stuff, which can be relevant, and then if I happen to draw both of my Zagoth Triomes, I could always play it on the backside. I don't think I'm ever playing this as a 4/4. This is just a 1-mana 1/1 that can give me some value as the game goes on. And then I'm putting 2 Delver of Secrets here. This one is probably worse. But this deck does have a decent number of spells, and so it should flip like 30% of the time or something like that. It's not great, but I was looking for other 1-drops and nothing else really caught my attention. So we're trying out Delver here, but I'd love to try something else. I considered Pteramander for a similar reason, but decided that Delver is going to get going quicker, and if it goes right, apply pressure sooner than Pteramander would, whereas Pteramander would be like insurance if the game goes long. So I opted to try for Delver, but there's a good chance that something like Pteramander or something else completely would be better in the slot. I changed the sideboard quite a bit from the Pioneer version of the deck. I've got a Crafty Cutpurse here to help steal tokens in the Agent of Treachery matchups. I've got some extra power word kills to deal with Greasefang, Goblinks for the control matchups, Crippling Fear for creature decks, Weathered Runestone for Greasefang also. Cemetery Illuminator is kind of a cool card. It eats things from the graveyard. So if there's a specific thing in the graveyard we need to kill, this can do it. And then it just can draw us cards also. And then we've got 3 Mystical Disputes. That's the deck. It's pretty straightforward. Thoughtseize has been impressing me a lot in the last couple of decks I've played on the channel. So I thought I'd try a black-blue Thoughtseize based deck, and this is what I came up with. So let's hop in and see if Rogues can do some stuff in Explorer. Alright, we're mulliganing game 1. If either of these were a second land, this hand would be insane, right? It's just a lot of pressure early on, but obviously I have to mulligan that. This one will keep. What are we putting back, though? It might be the Valentine that goes back. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Blood Crypt Thoughtseize, you got it. They probably take my Thieves Guild Enforcer, but they could take Fatal Push if they have creatures they want to play. Okay, I'll shock and pass. We're playing a couple Thieves Guild Enforcers over the next couple turns. Sure. This is a land. And I'm just passing. They didn't play a land yet, so I don't really care about what this knight does. I'm holding up Drowning the Loch. I'm gonna go ahead and play the Soaring Thought Thief here. It uses my mana a little bit better. Okay. So I could get aggressive here. And I could play the Thieves Guild Enforcer to turn on my stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm just getting on board. I'm saying you don't have anything that scary.
I have not survived millennia to stand down now.
Soren puts the thing in.
I had many warriors.
But this is not the same one. This is Evelyn the Collector. Okay. Whenever it or another vampire enters the battlefield, exile the top card of each player's library. Once each turn, you may play a card from exile with a collection counter on it. Okay. So they just got to draw 2 Thoughtseizes, which is fine. So I can kill Soren and then just attack them. Evelyn dies. Then I play Kaito. Then I plus Kaito to draw a card. Cool. Well, we've won this game, I think. Blood Tie of the Harvester. And another knight, sure. I would not be attacking if I were you, opponent. So this can't push through. I'll just attack for 2. I'm gonna just draw another card. If I find a land, that's really good for me.
I know something you don't know.
I'm trying to decide what I care about here, you know? Like, this is just gonna kill him next turn. So I kind of just want to protect it, and like, if they use this to kill this, do I really care? Not really. Yeah, that's fine. As long as they're not killing my Soaring Thought Thief, I don't really care what's going on. Cool. Black, red vampires, they might have blue mana in their deck. We saw a lot of their deck, and we did not see a single blue land. So it looks like they're just black-red vampires. Okay. I don't know if we want the negates against them. It doesn't seem like it. Power word kill seems slightly better. And then is that just it? Is that the swap? Does Valentine do anything for me? It exiles stuff. It's not great. I'm wondering about like the crippling fear. Yeah, let's take the Valentines out and put the crippling fears in. That seems good. And we'll run it back. That's exactly what we're looking to do. Disrupt a little bit, get our efficient creatures on board, and just start attacking. We're not looking to play like the super long game or anything like that. We just want to disrupt enough so that our little dorks can kill our opponent. So, all right, let's get into game 2. Our opponent goes first, obviously, since they lost the last game. All right, this hand, we're keeping it. I don't know in which order we're playing our cards. Okay, well now I do. I think I'm going to go Delver on 1, and then plan to Thoughtseize on 2. Though they have this up, they could be like, they have a Fatal Push up, so maybe I should Thoughtseize this turn. And this might be a little bit more efficient. Gifted Aetherborn, Sorin, Champion of Dusk. I'll take this Sorin. They can't even play their Gifted Aetherborn. They have no removal spells in their hand. So I'm just going to go Delver plus Thieves Guild Enforcer on their turn. Sure. They have a Blood Tithe Harvester that will die next turn. They can use the blood if they want, but I don't think they will. I guess if I were them, I'd consider looting away the Gifted Aetherborn to find black mana that you could actually use to cast your spells. Delver flips. Look at that. Honestly, holding onto the Bloodchief's Thirst might be better here, so I'm just going to push this. Hold up Power Word, kill, and attack. Yeah, like I said, I would not be surprised to see either the Gifted Aetherborn or the Champion of Dusk get thrown away here. That makes sense to me. And they couldn't find lands. I wonder what the basic mountains were doing in their deck. It looks like they're a base black deck anyways. Yeah, probably need more dual lands in their deck. But, you know, we disrupted them and we put pressure on the board and we won the match. Alright, getting into the second match with this Rogues deck. On the play, mulliganing my first hand. Keeping the second, though. Now, am I putting back a land, or am I putting back one of these two removal spells? It's probably a removal spell that has to go back. I'm going to put the Fatal Push back. And it might be weird. No, I'll just Thoughtseize on turn 1. Sometimes holding Thoughtseize until turn 2 can be good. I'm going to take Old Growth Troll, I think. The fact that this comes back just makes it really hard to deal with. Okay. Double Enforcer is going to put a decent amount of pressure on. There's the Paradise Druid. I've not played against a mono green stompy deck in Explorer yet. They have Nyx Lotus? They go huge. Okay. I'm just playing this tapped and passing. If they slam this, that's really good for us. We just Bloodchief's Thirst it and then start attacking. Ooh, Brazen Borrower is interesting for later. But for right now, we're just going to do this. That's the 8th card in their graveyard. It turns these on. Now we can attack. Really? They just concede there? Weird. Did not expect them to just concede there. We don't have much for this matchup. It's just Power Word kill, swapping places with negate, I think. Yep. Nothing else to do. You could bring in the Crippling Fears here, but since they go so big, I don't think you want the Crippling Fear. Yeah, this hand looks good. Okay, so they do have elves too. Shock Thoughtseize. What am I doing here? Taking the Karn. Figuring out how to deal with the Elder Gargoth later, I think. Then, if they don't find a land here, all they can do is play Paradise Druid. Or the Wolfwillow Haven. And so what I can do is I can just drown in the Loch Llanowar Werewolves this turn to hamper their mana again. And then next turn I can drown plus have Considers up. So like all... Okay, so they can go Kiora plus Paradise Druid here.
And you look like lunch. I love to make a splash.
And now they have the Elder Gargoth that they can play next turn. What am I doing about that? Nothing. There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, maybe I needed to take the Kiora there instead of the Karn. I honestly forgot about this interaction. It wasn't on my radar, so... I should have remembered that Kiora can untap the Wolfwillow Haven land. There's another Paradise Druid, sure. I'm looking for something to do. I don't even know if I want the Soaring Thoughtseize right now. Might as well push the Paradise Druid. There's Delver. But this Gargoth is just going to kill me. It might not even be worth playing the rest of this game. We'll see what they do with it. I mean, I guess I counter the Old Growth Troll and hope for a power word kill to deal with the Gargaroth. Power word kill here is a great draw. It flips the Delver. I get to go power word kill plus play Kaito. Like, that would be the best case scenario. Land is not going to be good enough. And yeah, I think I'm just dead from here. I guess I can loot with Kaito.
Hope you're ready for some mind games. Now
Yeah,
this
Fatal Push doesn't do anything. Okay. You could make a case that Mystical Dispute is fine here. It's never a 1-mana counterspell, but 3-mana counterspell to deal with some of their stuff. Oh, and actually, it's not never a 1-mana counterspell. It counters Kiora. Because, like, Valentine doesn't do anything. This card's not good in this matchup. I think I want all of my other cards, though, so are there 2 cards I want to bring back in? I think I'm just bringing in some cancels here. It's either that or Go Blank. You could argue that Go Blank's good here too, for a similar reason. They play all their mana dorks and they don't have cards left in their hand, and then you just Go Blank them. Yeah, let's bring the Go Blanks in. Sure. Alright, let's win game 3 on the play. I'm not super sure that my Thoughtseize last game was any good. It was a tough one. Yeah, keep this hand. Thoughtseize on 1. I'll take the Topiary Stomper. I'll push the Elf next turn. Then I've got Consider up. I don't need another land right now. Don't really need a Delver either. Just gonna play Kaito. Make a 1/1.
I won't let Kamigawa. I got someone on the inside who can help.
Yeah, they've got Old Growth Troll. We'll attack. We'll draw a card.
There's no secret I can't uncover.
Play this on black, I think. Play Delver and pass. This might just kill Kaito. There's not a ton I can do about it.
That's some serious counter intelligence.
And then they've got Nyx Lotus, which is going to make a bunch of green mana. I've got Soaring Thought Thief. I guess I can push this now, but that doesn't do anything for me either, right? Okay, we get a Flip Delver. Got a Drown in the Loch and a Fatal Push. So I'll start attacking with everything. Okay, I found an Elder Gargaroth. Is that worth doing the thing with Zarasan and ditching the Drown in the Loch for now? I think so. So we'll do the thing. We'll get Elder Gargaroth. I'd love to take the action. Thank you very much. Cool. I think Elder Gargaroth is maybe the only creature in their deck that I would have done that for. Otherwise, I'm just sitting back and holding up the Drown in the Loch. But yeah, that went pretty well. So Rogues. Rogues has the benefit of being a very low mana cost deck that takes advantage of Thoughtseize and Fatal Push, which are really efficient removal spells and, you know, disruption spells like we've talked about a couple of times so far on this channel. It's got good sideboard options, and it gets to use the Rogues package of Thieves Guild Enforcer and Soaring Thought Thief that dominated Standard for a long time to apply pressure on your opponent while turning on Drown in the Loch and letting you do nifty things with Zarasan the Trickster sometimes. The rest of the deck just supports that. It's a pretty straightforward build of the deck, and the sideboard is kind of self-explanatory as well. I like this deck. Yeah, like I said, it's got the advantage of having very, very few expensive cards in it. It can play all of its cards. and as you draw more cards, you can always cast what you've got. It's got options. It's got some cool stuff to do with its lands. I think this deck is pretty good. And if you like casting Thoughtseize and casting cheap, efficient creatures, this might be the deck for you. So, give Rogues a shot in Explorer. I think it could be good. That being said, that is going to be it for me for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you next time.